Welcome back to the channel, Red Bull fans. Today we got to sit down with New York Red Bulls 2 midfielder Adri Mehmeti. A native of Staten Island, New York, Mehmeti has been vital to New York Red Bulls 2's success this year, setting them in first place. He's also made his debut with the senior team, playing against FC Juarez in Leagues Cup. With his success in 2025, I wouldn't be shocked to see him with the first team full-time in 2026. Hope you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you back with more in the future. All right, Red Bull fans, we're back again, and we're joined today with Adri Mehmeti, one of the best 2009 born players, not at Red Bull, but in the country. So, Adri, how are you doing today, brother?
Good man, good man. Good to be here.
All right, so usually I like to start off with icebreakers. I've done this with Dylan, I've done it with Aiden, and I've done it with other Aiden as well. So let's just start off with where are you from?
From Staten Island, New York.
Staten Island. Just what growing up in Staten Island, obviously people forget it. It's a borough of New York City. Just overall feeling of being from Staten Island.
Nah, yeah, the forgotten borough, of course. But nah, I mean, just growing up in Staten Island, just it was, I mean, the other kind of football terms you're saying, or
Just overall life in general.
nah, I mean, it's pretty chill. I mean, nothing too crazy, I've been there all my life, so I mean, yeah, just chill.
All right. I've asked this to the past two guys, and they don't have a team apparently. They're just fully soccer. But your favorite non-football team?
On a football team. Wow. All right, so I'm gonna say in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Is that just because of Curry and the
Yeah,
rest of the guys?
yeah, it got to be because of Curry.
All right, understandable. Most recent movie or TV show that you've watched?
Most recent movie or TV show. The Jackal. You know the Jackal?
No. All right. Explain the Jackal to me.
Nah, it's a TV show.
Okay.
Uh, it's about like this guy's like an assassin, and he just going out there killing presidents. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but killing presidents. And nah, it's just this one FBI agent trying to. It's just FBI agent and the assassin going at each other the whole time.
Oh, interesting. All right. Yeah, I've been into a bunch of stuff lately about like DC animated like TV shows, so that's what I've been on. So, all
Yeah,
right, the Jackal. I might have to check that out then.
yeah.
All right. So this is a weird question, but I got this from NHL Scouting Combine. It's basically, what's your spirit animal?
My spirit animal.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means, to be
So
honest.
like Aiden Jarvis said his spirit animal was a cat. Aiden Stokes said his spirit animal is like a lion. Like what animal would represent you,
Animal
I
represent.
guess.
Okay. I would say. I would say. What's a smart animal?
It's a smart animal. I
Yeah.
guess like an orangutan. Orangutan
Yeah.
could be a smart one.
Doing orangutan then. No.
Okay. And then last but not least, what would be if you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Chipotle.
Chipotle? Aiden
Chipotle.
Stokes said the same thing. All
Yeah.
right, so
It
what
has
so what
everything.
so what's your order?
All right. So we go with the white rice,
Okay.
honey chicken.
Wow, he said the same thing.
Yeah. Come on. Lettuce, corn, sour cream guac, and then I'll usually get some chips on the
All
side.
right. So I'll tell you this like I told him. I'm a big hockey guy, so World Juniors is basically U20 in hockey. For the US, their sponsor is Chipotle. I believe usually whenever they win gold, that team gets a free year of Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah. So they've won it the past 2 years. So I believe they've just been chomping on Chipotle these past
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
hey, Chipotle, it's everybody says it's good. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest like Mexican food fan. I like tacos, but
Yeah. I
I'm
got
just not a big like burrito guy. So
you. I
hey,
got you.
back to back Chipotle guys. So that's
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. All right, so let's get into this interview just a bit. Let's just talk about your family to start it off. We already talked about living on Long Island, but what was your family what's your relationship with your family on Long Island? Obviously, your dad and your family's from Albania. Just talk about that overall, culture, just the overall family relationship inside the house.
No, we're very close. I mean, we're always around each other. We always help each other when one needs help. And I think, especially with all my relatives, like we always like to, get together, meet up, just have a good time whenever I'm off, obviously. But no, I mean, it's just to have a family that comes from a background that, that is so close together. It just helped me throughout my life development.
Yeah, so I've seen pictures of your backyard pitch. Not the biggest, but hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Big tree, by the way. That
yeah.
tree is humongous.
Nah,
But I have to ask, who's the better striker in the backyard, you or your dad?
nah. I gotta give it to my dad. Gotta give it to my dad. I'm always the one feeding him balls, but he's
He
good. He's good at the striking.
that's exactly what he said. I mean that's exactly your position is, feeding the strikers in behind. So that's exactly the answer I would have expected. He did show me a video of you standing on your roof and like juggling the ball and passing it back to him. Just talk
Yeah,
about that relationship between you and your dad and kind of how he's kind of helped you through your journey so far in your career.
yeah. I mean, he's been a crucial part of my development on and off the field, but on the field especially. He got me into football. He started making me kick a ball since I was 2 years old, and he'd always tell me that when I was little, when I'd always be in my bed, like he would have balls around me, like soccer balls around me, just so I could like get that like feeling. Yeah, I swear. And no, even to this day, he's still training me. Throughout my whole life, he's just been training me. We've always been kicking the ball in that backyard. So the backyard has a lot of memories, and I have a lot of memories with him as well.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, he was talking about that you started kicking a ball at 3. You joined your first club at Richmond Town Soccer Club at 5, where he kind of volunteered as the coach. Talk about, going just at 5 years old, just being in a club environment. I don't know how competitive those games are at U7 level, but just overall getting your first start in the game in a competitive setting per se, and just, playing the game that you grew up loving.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a good starting point. Playing with for your town team. Uh, and always playing up, especially. It gave me that extra push. Extra physicality to see how the older guys were and all that. And having my dad as the coach, he's always pushing me. Even if like when I make a bad pass, he'll push me. All this, all that. And he'd always tell me just try to even because you're younger, try to go out and lead the team. You know what I mean? So yeah, that really helped me in my development.
Yeah, and then obviously from there you go to Staten Island United. You get that big move. It's a bigger club per se on Staten Island. Just making that move. Obviously, you're leaving a bunch of your friends to go to a different team. I know that's always hard in a young player's career. Just talk about that transition from Richmond Town to Staten Island United.
Yeah, I mean, when you're young like that, you get a little bit shy, when you're meeting new people, getting to a new environment. But I don't think it took long for me to, adapt. I adapted really quick. I got to know the guys on that team really quick, and I'm good friends with them today. But again, getting to play up with that team as well, and just again giving me that extra push. The coaches believed in me. That's why they played me up, and again, a really good part of my development.
And you talk about playing up. I mean, just a year later now, you joined Red Bull, the pre-academy. Um, Talk about how they kind of might have discovered you, how that first interaction came to where they're like, you know what, we have to bring this kid to Red Bull. Like, what was that first interaction, and how did you know that you were going to play for Red Bull?
Yeah, so it was I think it was a RDS development camp that my dad had put me into, and again, I was only like 10 years old, so again, there was a lot of players there. It was probably like 100 players, 200 players, just all training there. It was a 1 day thing, and again, a little bit shy. Just you don't want to mess up all this, all that,
Yeah.
and but just go out there, do what you do best, and have fun, enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, Red Bull's obviously been a club that, scours the whole New York, New Jersey, Connecticut metropolitan area. I mean, you just talk about the city. You have Julian Hall, you got Kyle Duncan on Long Island, you got Sean Nealis, the Nealis brothers, Tim Parker. Connecticut, you got Matty Dos Santos. New Jersey is just everybody. Like, just talk about that overall feeling of knowing that players in the first team, in the second team, the academy are just guys that were in your shoes. All just like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's really good to see that everybody, has a similar pathway. And, you know, to be together with those guys sharing the same experience, that it just like really cool to see that, we were all in the same spot at one point. You know what I mean? We were all, some of the guys, like most of us, we were all in the academy, making the transition to the second team and the first team. So no, that's really good. That's really good to see and to hear.
So 2019 is your first year. Um, Talk about that first year, especially because, it's a Red Bull system. It's probably different from what you were growing up playing. How long did it take to kind of acclimate to the system or just whatever the coaches were kind of trying to detail into you?
Yeah, I could see the difference from, the Staten Island United team and then Red Bulls. Especially like my first session, I could see the players were a lot more technical, a lot more stronger, and again, it just the demands of the coaches were very high. And just again, just give everything I have, like I did, and just enjoy it, get to know guys more. Keep playing with them, keep just I get that little bit of a feel of what the system will be in the future. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it was good.
So in 2023, everybody knows that U15 team that went on to win MLS Next Cup. Just to give fans perspective, how old were you when you were on that team?
Yeah, I was 14. 14.
Okay, 14. So you were still playing up with guys like Julian Hall, Matthew Dos Santos, Tanner Ross, bro. All those guys that were on that team winning that championship. Can you like talk us like behind the scenes like how much of a grind that was that whole season to go on and win that championship at the end of the year?
Yeah, we worked. We really worked. Everybody, like the coaches, players, every day coming to the training, giving everything they have. I would say there was a lot. There was definitely a lot of ups and downs. Good results here, bad results here, but at the end of the day, we all came together. We said, hey, we have a big goal, to win the playoffs after GA Cup when we got eliminated to Austin,
Mm.
and we said we gotta step it up a notch. Everybody has, to push their physical limits and just strive every single day in training so we can keep winning games, and get that feel for the winning mentality.
So you brought up GA Cup. Did that loss kind of, spark something in the team? Like, because obviously there's a saying that you need to lose before you win. Did that loss kind of overall motivate the guys? Because a lot of times a loss can kind of, you can dwell on that loss. You can get, complacent. You can just be like, the season's over or whatever. But how did that loss kind of propel you guys into championship mode?
Nah, yeah. I mean, especially, uh, we got a red card 10 minutes into the game. Julian got
Yeah.
a red card, and everybody was a little bit down. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? And again, it was just push for the best. Try not to concede. We went down 2-0. We kept pushing the game. We couldn't find the two goals to tie it. And then everybody, obviously there was a lot of emotions after the game. Everybody a
Hmm.
little bit disappointed, obviously, especially me. I was really mad because it was my birthday that day as well.
Oh man.
But no, I mean after that, I mean we came back home. We continued to train. We continued to give everything we have every day, and it kind of led us into the playoffs. And
Hmm.
we're like, okay, we've experienced J Cup. We know what happened there, and we don't want it to happen again. So every game, push for your physical limits, for physical demands.
All right. So from the academy, let's touch on international just really quick. You're obviously a dual nat with the US and Albania. You've been called up for both U15 camps in 23 and you were with the US in 24 as well. Talk about the difference between like those two different camps for just a normal fan's perspective. Obviously, one's out in Europe, one's over here. Talk about maybe like some of the small differences between an Albanian youth team versus the U.S. youth national team?
Yeah, it was two different, totally different experiences on and off the field. Off the field, I think everything was structured differently
Mm.
with the U.S. and with Albania, and obviously on the field, the play styles are different. The USA are definitely more ball possession kind of play. Albania are more like, I would say, switch of play, pressing, counter pressing. So getting a little bit of both is really good, and I had really good experiences when I went there. Both.
When you got that first call up for Albania, what was the reaction in the household?
No, yeah, I was obviously very happy for you know my mom and dad, because coming from Albanian roots, I always wanted to play for Albania at least one time so
Yeah.
I can make them happy. And again, I got there, I met some people, I met new people, which is always good, and you know, those are memories that I'll carry forever. So a really good experience.
And then with the U.S., obviously you were there. You've played, I believe, 7 games between 2023 and 24. You haven't been called up recently because obviously you've been, pushing your way through the second team and to the first team now. But the U17 World Cup is coming up. Obviously, you that would mean you would have to play up a year with the O8s. Talk about maybe potentially getting that call up and what that would mean to you and your family if you did get that call up to the U17 World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that would be an honor. Even to wear the badge for any age group, U16, U17, it's always an honor. But even playing up an age group with the U17s, like it's something that I've been working to with the second team, with the first team, like you said. And again, that's another big goal of mine. To get into that World Cup, even if it's not this year, maybe next year, hopefully. So
All right, after a brief intermission of Adri going to do video with Red Bull 2, we're back. We left off with talking about, his international play, but now we're up to the pro ranks. Obviously, last year in 2024, you got your first look with the team. Still an academy player, but you're getting these looks with the second team. I believe your debut was the U.S. Open Cup, right, against
yeah,
Hudson Valley Hammers. Just
yeah.
talk about getting that call and knowing that you're looking to potentially get your debut at just 14 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew going into that game that I was gonna play some minutes because we didn't have many sixes, and I was kind of in the mix, like in training, that I was in the start, like the coming into the game, kind of
Mhm.
team. So, and then to be in that game, it felt like it was an unreal feeling, just because I've been working so hard for it, with the second team, with the academy, playing games with the academy, and during the moment, I kind of eased my way into it because Hudson Valley had a red card early, so
Yeah.
it was a debut that I could go into, just express myself and enjoy. And I think I did really well for the most part. And again, it's a memory that I'll carry forever.
Let's just talk about the lead up to that because obviously it's the beginning of the season. It's just before your birthday. Talk about like maybe that off season and what kind of led to maybe the Red Bull second team front office sporting director kind of introducing you to the idea that you could be with Red Bull 2 going into that 2024 season.
Yeah. So after playoffs for us, for our U15 playoffs, I had 1 week where I trained with the second team, and again, getting a little bit of a feeling, of how they trained and all that. It was a really good experience. I had my off season, and I had a little bit of a break, and then I went back to training, with my dad.
Yep.
Yeah, and just runs, all that, getting back to that physical standard, and then coming back in with the academy for preseason, and then it was a month later, I think, I went back in with the second team. So just had to be ready for that because all the academy coaches were telling me, the academy director, that be ready because you're going to go with the second team after the academy preseason.
Yeah, so obviously you're going back and forth the season with the academy. But you get your first start with the second team in June. Um, you know, uh, it was a 2-1 win against Toronto. Talk about that feeling. It was home as well, in front of your family, getting that first start. Just what were the overall emotions of that game and ultimately coming out with a victory?
Yeah, so we had our pre-match meeting first of all, and I had no idea if I was gonna start or not, and then I saw the lineup. I came out. I was starting, and again, it was just it was like a lot going on. A lot of emotions. Like I was very happy, obviously, and then during the game, I was just like, okay, again, I'm used to. I've played a decent amount of minutes already with the second team coming off the bench, and then just again play like myself, and again give everything I have.
Yeah, and then, we'll kind of wrap up that 2024 season. Obviously, not the best team-wise. The team didn't make the playoffs. But for you, as a 15-year-old, you got 700 minutes. Just the overall season, what did you learn about yourself making that step to the professional ranks from the academy?
Yeah, I could see. I mean, the first couple games, I felt like I wasn't really myself, obviously, which is normal. Still
Yeah.
young and still getting used to the professional environment. But again, everybody, all the coaches, players, they were helping me. They were telling me, keep doing what you're doing. It'll come. All this, all that. And as the season went on, I got more used to it. I got more, into the flow. I had a couple of starts and getting 700 minutes, and probably like for a second team season as a young player, as a 14-year-old, it's really good. So
Yeah, so, everybody talks about, taking that next step, and obviously, you know, the game is a lot different. But talk about what things you might have improved from going from that U15 to Red Bull 2. Like what in your game improved that you noticed?
yeah, definitely speed of play, intensity, all those things. Just decision making. Of course, was something that going in. I had to really just how do I say be more mindful of what kind of passes I'm playing, or if I'm going into this tackle or that tackle. So
Mm.
all that really developed me. To make me who I am right now. And again, just it took a while to get to get adapted to the second team, but I did get adapted in the end. So
So I have to ask you because it's very noticeable, but you have these really small shin guards. Just talk about them and why you use them because obviously you're a defensive midfielder. So I would like, when you're making these challenges, you're 50-50 and you just hear a big bang in the middle. I'm just like, yo, he's gonna break his leg. So like what is it just a is it just comfortable for you to wear these? Like what's the main kind of positive to wearing these really small shin pads? Like they're very small. If you haven't
yeah,
seen them, like it's crazy that you wear these in defensive mid.
yeah, it's just the comfort, honestly. Like, I have my mom, my dad tell me too, you got to wear bigger shin guards. You don't want anything to happen. But I mean, if you feel good, you play good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just comfort. You know what I mean? At the same
Okay.
time, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's just like every time you go into a challenge, like, oh my God, it's like
yeah,
it's crazy. But hey, if it works, it works. So,
yeah, yeah. Of course.
um, obviously now we're heading into 2025. But before 2025 even comes along, you sign your homegrown deal. Um, Was there any rumblings that this was coming? And when you found out that it was officially happening, what kind of emotions did you experience when you're like, you know what, I am a professional player and this is gonna be my life going forward?
Yeah. Um, the pathway was clear after that U15 playoffs tournament. I mean, all the academy staff was telling me that you can be the next one up. You just got to keep staying focused, keep staying humble, keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get the opportunity to eventually, make your dream come true. And I mean, signing with my boyhood club again, like just realizing that I've been here like my whole life. It's honestly insane, And then the signing day, obviously, it was just unreal. I mean, just with my whole family over here as well, supporting me, it's again really, 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 really happy.
That day that you got the call from Red Bull, can you kind of like paint the picture of where you were when you got that call and what happened like after that?
Uh, I honestly don't really remember it, but they were telling me like probably a month before I signed that that you will be a first team player, and again, something that I was working to like my whole life. And again, when they told me that, I was really proud of myself. My family was really proud of me, and I was just really, really excited.
Yeah, and you know, obviously you've been here since 2019, pre-academy. Not many players, that have been homegrown players for Red Bull have been here the whole time, pre-academy. Obviously, Matty Dos Santos did it. You've done it. I don't think there's many other players after that. Did that you touched on it a bit, but did that mean more that you've been here through everything? U10, whatever the pre-academy starts at, that's where you started, and now you're a professional player.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, I can remember like, during the academy times, like U13, U12, there was always other offers from other teams. NYCFC was asking for me. There was some other local teams, but I always stayed loyal to Rebels because I knew that their development, like, it would help me in my career on and off the field, of course. And just I trusted the process, and
Mm.
it turned out well. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask that pathway that Red Bull showed you. That was the main reason you trust the trust from you in that plan was obviously there because obviously with a talent like you, there's options all over the world. Were there any other offers like outside the country that you could have gone? And obviously you touched on that plan and why you believed in that plan. Could you just touch on why you believed in that plan just a bit more?
no, yeah, I mean, I did have offers in Europe, but again, I've been here my whole life, and
Mm,
there was no reason to change what's been working. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I've been here like my whole life, so to sign with the club that I've been with my whole life, the way I've been developing every year in the academy, second team, first team, it's again, why would you change it? So I wouldn't want to start my career anywhere else. So
Gotcha. So now 2025, successful season so far for the second team. For you as well, you've been one of the leaders in minutes for 2009 players in MLS Next Pro. You've played every single minute you've been available for this year. Just talk about that, being a consistent player in that second team, having the trust of the coaches, and what you've seen differently from last year in the team from last year to this year that's led to all this kind of success for you guys.
yeah, so for me, I think the coaches to have that trust in me to keep playing me 90 minutes every game, I'm really happy, and it shows that I'm doing something right. So again, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing every day in training, so I can have more moments like that. Keep playing 90 minutes every game, give everything I have when I step on the pitch. And then from a team perspective, I would say that I think there is a change in mentality from the team. You know, uh, the since with Ibra, with Michael, I think they've definitely pushed our physical standards. In training every day. So when we go to games, we can play at a higher tempo. We can make the games look more like MLS games.
Mm.
So higher tempo, higher speed. Always staying in tune, always being switched on, and that's really helped us, and it shows why we're first place right now. So hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, and obviously you touched on Ibra and Coach Bradley. Obviously, just a weird. It's you don't see it often going from one coach to another, and not because he got fired, but just he was doing so good that he got promoted to the first team, and now obviously Coach Bradley takes over. Just talk about that transition from Coach Ibra to Coach Bradley, and what differences those two might have between their coaching styles.
Yeah, so for Ibra, I mean, we were all very, very, happy for him, of course, when he got the call up for the first team to become a first team assistant coach. And the work he put in with us, it kind of, it set us up for the second half of the season, and we're also thankful for that. And with Michael coming in, he didn't want to change too much, but he brought a lot of really good ideas, different ways of playing football. Just playing wide, coming back in the middle. So it's just it's the same style, but with different ideas. And I could see with the first week with Michael, it's I knew it would be it would be a good second half of the season, and it's been really good to work with him so far.
So yeah, let's just talk individually with about Michael because obviously, his his career is world known. One of the best, if not one of the best midfielders in U.S. history. Just when you have a coach like that with his pedigree coming in, it's his first time being a head coach. Just was there any hesitancies about wow, now I gotta live up to this guy's standards, or was it did he just kind of make it easy for you guys to adapt to what he wants you guys to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that when we all saw the news that he was becoming the second team head coach, we were all a little bit shocked. We didn't know it
Yeah.
would be. We didn't know it would be a player of his caliber, obviously with all of his experience. And when he came in the first day, we could see like when he came in the first video meeting, he was showing us Barca clips, and we were like, man, this guy is crazy. But no, when just to see a coach that thinks of us that way,
hmm
like we can play at this speed of tempo and all this, and like we can play like the big teams in Europe. He's been pushing our physical demands every day in training. The second team even higher again. So like I said, we can play like MLS teams.
Yeah.
And that's where we all want to go. You know what I mean? To MLS. So just being able to play in the next pro, then to getting adapted to that speed of play to play in MLS.
Okay, and then lastly on Coach Bradley, being a midfielder himself and that's what you are, you're a defensive midfielder. What kind of nuances has Bradley's coaching kind of helped you improve in certain aspects of your game so far? Obviously, it's only been a couple of months, but have you seen that improvement in your game with a coach like him?
Yeah, definitely. I would say I remember the first day that the first session we had with him, and with the ball, I would say I was playing a couple passes backwards where I could have turned, and he told me, maybe how could you turn here? How could you orientate your body so you can turn here? Just
Mm,
always giving those like little tips, so I can, do it in training and then transfer it to the game.
gotcha. Um, with your success with the second team, obviously we talked about the team being in first place, but you've been one of the standout midfielders in the whole league, in my opinion, so far this year. You get your senior debut in Leagues Cup. Just making the roster was impressive enough, but you get to make your debut in that final game against Juarez. Just talk about getting that call from Sandro Schwartz, saying that you're gonna make the team because obviously I believe did you make the bench the game before that as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, against
Yeah,
Monterey.
so getting those two games, that trip out to Cincinnati, and then actually getting on the field against Juarez at home. Talk about those overall experiences of being with the first team and playing in a first team match.
Yeah, first of all, two really good experiences. Even just being there, being rostered for Monterey,
Mm,
just seeing the speed of play, the difference, from Next Pro and MLS and against the Liga and Meki teams,
yeah,
it's good to get a bit of both, obviously, and then against FC Wars, to come in for about 15 minutes, I think it was,
yeah,
you know, come into the game, express myself, try to chase the game, obviously, because I think it was we were 1-0 up, or
yes,
we
one
were
nil
1-1.
up,
We were 1-0
one,
up, yeah, and then
yeah,
they tied it, obviously, and then you know go out, just try to find another goal. We wanted to end it off on a win. We saw that we needed 6 goals, obviously, to qualify, I think, or 5 goals,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, to get the 3 points, I mean, still, we just try to give everything we have. And when I came in, that was the goal for me, just give everything I have.
So when you step on the pitch and you know you're standing next to Eric Choupo-Moting, who's been all over Europe playing for PSG, Bayern Munich, a bunch of other teams, and you got Emil Forsberg in front of you, Champions League guy. Just what was like the overall like what were you thinking in that moment? It's like because like if I'm in that moment as a 16-year-old, where was I as a 16-year-old? You're on the pitch at Sports Illustrated Stadium playing against the Liga MX team. So what was the overall like whirlwind? Those first couple steps on the pitch, like knowing that yes, this is my debut.
Yeah, I mean, when I was running on the field, like I was just like, wow, I'm in the field, I'm on the like I'm playing. in a first team game. And again, to make my debut with the first team, I mean, especially with all those guys around, supporting me, Emil, Chupo, some really, really big players with really big experience, and then everybody else, older guys, Tim, Sean, just helping me, guiding me throughout the game, and telling me, just go out, do what you do best, and you know, just try to chase the game, obviously.
So more recently, you've been training with the first team and getting those experiences. When you look at those training sessions, like what's one thing that you see in your game that needs to make that next step before you become that first team regular going forward?
Yeah, I would say the speed. So the speed of play, obviously, with the first team and the second team, it's a little bit higher, obviously.
Yeah,
And I would say for me against the ball, I would definitely say the quick step, because you really need it. Like one wrong step, or you know, you go to press the ball and you get dribbled past.
yeah,
Especially in my position, the ball's going the other way, and you got to sprint back 60 yards. So just being able to move my feet a little bit more, I'd say, is something that I'm still working on.
gotcha. And then, Red Bull the past decade has produced, a quality defensive mid in Daniel Edelman and one of the best in the country in Tyler Adams. Just when you look at those two players, how can you kind of develop into that path of getting, to the first team, becoming a national team player, potentially getting a move to Europe? Just like what in your game has to improve, or what do you have to do individually to get to those where those guys are, especially like a Tyler Adams who's done everything in his career so far, playing Champions League, been at a World Cup. Just what would it be like to get recognized in the same name as those two guys?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that'd be an honor. I mean, to get compared at least to Daniel Edelman and Tyler Adams, because I think we've all had the same, like, similar pathway. I think
Yeah,
we've all been in the academy, yeah. And I mean, I think every day just coming into training and just working on, like, even everything, like, even like on the ball, off the ball, working on a little bit of everything, So, like, and when one bucket of something, like when one bucket overflows, you work on the next one. You know what I mean? So
yep,
just working on everything that I need to work on, so then I can start getting more minutes with the first team, and then hopefully make my move to Europe one day.
gotcha. Um, And then let's just kind of wrap up this 2025 season. Obviously, you're going to be playing with Red Bull 2, trying to win the Eastern Conference, make the playoffs, push for that MLS Next Pro championship. But overall, what are some of like your individual goals for the rest of the season, other than those kind of team goals that you want to do?
Yeah, for me, I would say hopefully to get a couple more minutes with the first team. So then going into next season, I can have those minutes and have that experience. So then when I play, hopefully next season, then I'm ready for it. And with the second team, for me, I'm honestly, or wherever I play first team, I want to score more goals. To be honest. So I want to score a couple more goals. I got one right now, but hopefully
Who'd you
three.
score that goal against, by the way?
NYCFC.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to score more goals, I mean, Rebel 2 is one of the highest scoring teams in the league. So,
Right?
hey man, just sometimes you got to take that risk and go forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Before we wrap this up, I just want to do like a couple of quick hitters before we kind of get out of here. First, I'll ask, why defensive mid? Because obviously everybody wants to be a striker, everybody wants to be an attacking player. Not everybody wants to be a defensive mid. So why defensive mid when you were growing up or whenever you made that decision?
Nah, I wanted to be a striker too, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Hey,
wanted to be a striker too. So with the pre-academy, uh, I was playing all over because it was 9v9. So I was playing all over the place.
okay.
I was playing 8, 9, center back, 6. And I guess, 6 was the best fit for me. So, I just became a 6 from there on and just continued playing there.
How's the running? Because obviously in the Red Bull system, you're running all over the place, man. I could barely run in gym class, and I see like Red Bull players are running like 10 kilometers per match or whatever the crazy number is. Just how is that ingrained into your system that, you're not just required to run, you need to run to kind of, set up that system correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I think for every six in any team, you need to do the dirty work, obviously, and with the second team, I always see my, running distance after every game, and it's always like 10 kilometers or higher. And, that's where I want to be at, and to play, you need to put in the work, you know what I mean? So again, you need to run and you need to make that final sprint, all the time. You always need to make that final step, or maybe that big tackle. So yeah,
Gotcha. A pizza question. As a New Yorker, does pineapple belong on pizza?
no, come on,
Okay. So
no,
when someone says pineapple belongs on pizza, what do you say to them?
don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Like
Uh,
you
yeah,
must be insane, bro. There's no
yeah,
way.
crazy people.
Yeah, come on.
Um, an Albanian dish. What's your favorite Albanian dish, and why should I try it?
Okay, so my mom. So it's first of all, it's called pastiche.
Okay.
It's like bread. It's like bread and then pasta and cheese
Okay.
inside.
I could do this.
Yeah, yeah, but my mom makes the best pastiche. I promise you. It's honestly the best Albanian dish I've ever had.
Okay.
I'll bring you one next time. I'll tell her to make some.
All right, word, because
Yeah,
that's not. I'm a really picky eater. I'll say that. Like for whatever reason, I really struggle at trying different things. But I'm a
yeah,
big pasta guy, so if it's bread, pasta, or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
I can try that. That would be lovely. I would definitely
yeah,
try
yeah.
that. Let's see. Any other questions? Other than basketball, do you like any sports?
Uh, I mean, I watch a little bit of NFL. Uh,
Okay.
my other favorite sport is basketball.
Okay.
Got a hoop in the
Did
backyard, so I play here and there.
did you when you were growing up, obviously it was soccer all the way, but if you could you have been a high school basketball player?
Nah,
No?
nah,
Not that good?
nah, nah, no way.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm not that big of a basketball guy. I can shoot. I can shoot a three.
Yeah, I got you.
But that's about it. Not really athletic as I used to be back in the day. But yeah. So
Yeah, I got you.
basketball. So when you talk about Golden State, what was like your first memory of watching like Golden State? Was it those championship years
Yeah,
or
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
and
Championship.
and
And
that's why you got in, or were you just like against LeBron? Like you're like, I can't.
nah, I was just a Curry fan. I'm just a
Okay.
Curry. Yeah,
So when he won the gold medal, was it last 2024? When
yeah, yeah,
like you watched that game?
yeah, 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 I did.
Oh my God. Like again, I'm not the biggest basketball fan. But I'll watch a gold medal game or I'll
Yeah, yeah,
watch like USA basketball.
same. Yeah, yeah,
That team was ridiculous, especially in the finals. So I think we can wrap that up there. Audrey, I really appreciate your time. And good luck the rest of the season with the first team, the second team. Go get that MLS Next Pro Championship, man.
yes, sir. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem.